One of the biggest fears mums have about leaving the UK is, what if something goes wrong? And honestly, that's a fair question, because life can happen anywhere. Relationships change, income changes, plans fall apart. But here's what I've learnt travelling full time as a solo mum. You don't need a perfect plan, you need a safety net. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I built ours, financially, practically and emotionally, because security doesn't come from staying in one place, it comes from knowing you can handle change. I didn't plan for everything to change while we were abroad, but when it did, I realised something important. Panic is expensive. So the first layer of a safety net is money. You don't need 6 figures in savings, but you do need access to cash. So the first thing we have is like an emergency fund. So I have savings, which would a few grand, which would last me and Jai, you know, a good sort of 3 months, maybe more, if we needed it to. So having that emergency fund, that kind of backup, is a really, really good idea. It's a really good safety net to have. But whatever works for you, having that savings is a really good safety net, and it actually is a good sort of security feeling, I think, as well. The second thing I think is like a separate account, separate bank accounts. So I have my main bank account, which is what I draw cash out of. In fact, I actually use a Revolut card. If that card got stolen, I've literally just got that money in there, and it's not connected to any other account. So if anything happened, it's gone. I would just lose what's in there, nothing else. I have a savings account, so I have my little savings pot separate, and then I have my account that my wages and stuff go into. And then you want to have access to money in different currencies. So this is again the Revolut card. I can change from different currencies, so I can have Indian rupees, Thai baht, pounds, dollars, whatever it is that I need, and I can change it really easily in the same account. And then finally, not relying on one income stream, which is something I talk about a lot, and it's something that I think is really, really important. And even earning your first £100 online really changes your mindset, because it proves that you have options. And this is why I created my freebie, First £100 Online, which is a free guide to making money online and building your first income stream. The link is in the description. The second really important thing is having your legal and paperwork basics sorted. So make sure you know where your things are and how to access them. Make sure your passport is valid. It has 6 months left on it. This is something I made a mistake with this year. My English passport actually runs out in May, but I have 2 passports, so it's not such a big deal for me. But make sure your passport has plenty of time on it. Make sure you're clear about your visa rules and restrictions, so you don't get in any trouble with that as well. Have digital copies of documents, your passports, your kids' birth certificates, anything that you need for that, so that you've got copies of everything and you know exactly where they are. I keep everything in a Google Drive, so I know where my passport, I've copies of my passport and Jai's passport, birth certificates, visas, everything. Anything I can think of that I might need, I have it all in a Google Drive so that I know exactly where it is, and if I need it, it's just there. Emotional stability for your child is incredibly important, and this is the part most people forget. It's not the country that makes your child feel safe, it's you. So it's about routine, it's about predictability, you know, because your location can change, but your stability doesn't have to. So things like bedtime, schooling rhythm, all those kind of routines are really helpful. Age-appropriate communication, showing you that you're calm when things aren't so calm. You know, just being there for your child is the most important thing you can do, especially when things are going wrong. You know, I'm navigating a separation at the moment, and obviously that's affecting Jai massively. Of course it is. So being able to be grounded and centered and present for him is the most important thing I can do, and giving him routines and giving him the stability that he needs and not making things difficult for him is actually more important than anything for me, because once I know he's okay, I know that I will be okay. Of course, you know, prioritising him, prioritising what he needs over sometimes over what I need. And then the final layer of the safety net is the one that surprised me the most. It's not money, it's not paperwork, it's believing you can handle anything. Let me explain. So it's knowing that I can earn money, it's knowing I can problem solve, it's knowing I can book flights if I need to, it's knowing that I can be flexible and adjust the plan, you know, that nothing is permanent. I can go home, I can go somewhere else, I can stay overseas, and if I do need to go home, it's not permanent. It's not, you know, a backward step, it's just reset. And sometimes you need that. It seems sometimes knowing that you have the flexibility just gives you options that otherwise you just don't feel like you have. And then finally, it's having a return plan, you know, without feeling ashamed of going home. You know, going home's not necessarily a bad thing. Going home isn't a step backwards. And actually, I think the fact that you could have a return plan is actually a good thing. So that might look like knowing where you'd stay if you went home, not seeing it as a failure, knowing that you can go back, knowing that you have something and somebody there that can support you, friends, family, whoever, you know, and also knowing that if you do go back, you don't have to stay. And that takes away the real fear that you're on your own, you're stuck and you have no options. You know, I think feeling okay about going home if you need to is actually very, very powerful. Security doesn't come from location. It comes from confidence and feeling capable. So if you're a mum sitting in the UK thinking, I want something different, but I'm scared of what could go wrong, I get it, because the fear isn't really about the travel. It's about responsibility. It's about your child. It's about not wanting to mess up. But staying somewhere that feels wrong isn't safety either. Because I think real security comes from knowing your options, from knowing that you can earn, you can adapt, you can change direction if you need to. And that's what this channel is all about, building income stability and confidence as a solo mum. So you do have choices. So if that's what you're trying to create for you and your child, subscribe to my channel, because every week I share the practical steps, the mindset shifts, and the real life side of doing this without pretending it's perfect.